There you go. That smells good. Now scallops do not take long to cook. You're probably looking at about a minute per side. Okay. Not burn my hands here. A wee bit of salt. There you go. Some pepper. Now what I'm using, I'm not using Orkney butter, I'm using some stuff called Graham's butter because I didn't have time in which to go to the shops today to get any Orkney butter. But Orkney butter does taste pretty amazing. Okay, good. Right, so there we go. So I'm in the centre now. In a lot of parts of the world, what people do is they'll just serve you this bit, okay, the main part of the scallop, okay. This bit is the best, okay. So if you go to a restaurant and you ask them where the red bit is, the roe, they say, oh, we don't eat that. Well, they do in Scotland, okay? If you want decent food, cooked properly, make sure you try and get it cooked properly yourself. So, good lump of butter in there. I'm on a health kick just now, so my wife Kirsty will be watching this, probably monitoring the amount of butter that I put into this, okay? I spoke to Steve Munro from the fitness company that I'm doing this fitness challenge, not fitness challenge, but this good healthy eating plan. And he's never eaten scallop. So I've told him that he's going to have to come up to Orkney and I have to grill some scallops for him, either on the barbecue or make them like this. So what I'm doing is I'm adding butter to it to baste it, okay? Give it a nice basting, there we go. Now scallops shouldn't be cooked for any more than about a couple of minutes max, okay? So you get a better thing to use, there you go. Looks good, delish. Okay, it smells really sweet and caramelised. Like if you like anything that's seafood, like lobster, it doesn't have that type of taste to it, but it's got its own buttery type sweet flavour to it, scallop. Beautiful dish. And these are hand-dived scallops. They're not being dredged, they've been hand-dived, okay? And that makes a big difference for sustainability, for the environment, but also the fact that the scallops tend to be much bigger, okay? So they've been hand-selected by divers for the export market, but also for anybody lucky enough, such as myself, to live here in the Orkney Islands. Okay, so that's pretty much them done. Let's do another quick thing, because the roe is quite big, so I'm going to maybe add, there we go. Let's see if I can put the camera up a bit so you can see what they look like. Lovely looking caramelised look about them. Put it up to the pan, look at that, nice. So what I'm going to do, the scallops taste amazing on themselves, but with whiskey even better. Okay, this is normal scallop. But today, I'm just going to eat scallops as they are. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to put my scallops in the plate here. There we go. Possibly slightly over, but when you're trying to do a live feed video and do scallops at the same time, it's pretty difficult. Okay. Probably upload this to my YouTube channel as well. You don't really need a recipe. what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat them here. Okay, eat them on the stove. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to change the camera over. Here we go. You ready? Look at that white flesh. Look at that. They are good. There's a problem with being 6'6", right? Is the fact that it's difficult to lean anywhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lean over the hot stove here and eat my scallops. Okay, here we go. Oh, so sweet. It's like the roe section, this orange bit. You know, sometimes when I do tours here in the Orkney Islands, and I take people into, particularly the Americans and the Canadians, or anybody if it doesn't have normally the orange bit, I say to them, what are you going to do with the orange bit? And they say, I'm going to chuck it out. So why are you going to chuck it out? Because we don't eat it in the States. And I say, well, you're throwing away the best bit. So what I do is I will ask them to give it to me, so I can have a big plate full of just the roe, which is amazing. Well, this is one of the scallops that I managed to shackle myself this morning. It's a monster, okay, a proper hand dive scallop. Look at the butter. Beautiful. So what you're wanting is a slightly charred outside and then a sort of a medium rare look in the middle. It's quite difficult to see it on camera. You can actually eat them raw. So sometimes, excuse me, excuse me, scallop down the wrong side of my chest there. Sometimes what you can do is you can eat them raw. So sometimes in a fishing boat, you can have sashimi scallop, okay? And my friends will go diving, okay? And they dive the scallops and then they open them up on board, okay? And all you need to do is add a little bit of vinegar or just on yourself and then slice them up. You also get something called scallop dashi, which is a type of really light soup, sort of Japanese soup. It's incredible. But scallops on their own, like this, nothing beats them. Now I know, Steve, you're looking at this video thinking, you know, I'm not very happy watching this video, poor Kinley, suffer eating the scallops himself. But when you come up to Orkney, Steve will cook some up for you. Okay, delicious. So is anybody else eating scallops at all, or wondering what you can do with them? I'll give you an idea of calories for counting of calories, okay? 100 grams of scallops, uncooked, is about 80 calories, okay? So what I'm eating tonight is about 300 grams, okay? If you add a bit of butter to that, you're asking a bit more. So you could have a full plate of scallops with some butter cooked really well for under 500 calories. That's pretty good going. Yeah, good. Now Kirsty will be next door, cursing me because her kitchen now stinks of scallop. Look at that. Do you know what I should do? It should be really bad. Use the greasy pan here with my scallop. Look at that. Here we go. That is good. I was thinking probably one of the best things to go with scallops is just drinking water. You know, just normal fresh water as an accompaniment, or whiskey. One of the YouTube videos that I did a few months ago, or maybe a year or so ago, I did it cooking with whiskey. And I cooked with I think it was a 1974 Glenfarclas, so a really rare whiskey. So I had a dram of this whiskey, and then I added some to the pan for the scallops, and what a flavour. And there you go. So these scallops were hand dived probably early this morning, brought by the fishing boat owned by the Brown Company, the Browns, into Saint Margarets Hope, where they were then collected in the ponds, and then hand put into basically containers in which to send off to market. So There's a company called Tom Kitchen. Now, Tom Kitchen is a Michelin star chef in Edinburgh. And I know that I think he uses one of the divers up here for his own scallops. So if you go to the Kitchen restaurant and so forth, I remember going to Andrew Fairley's in Gleneagles. It's a 2 Michelin star restaurant, and they were talking about Orkney scallops. And they said, well, we're from Orkney, and our friend's a scallop diver. So they're very jealous. But we're very lucky actually here, because these are not cheap. If you were to go to a restaurant and pick up this size of scallop, okay, just with the roll, okay, you're probably looking at around about £3 or £4 per scallop in money, so GDP, not GDP, GBP, okay, and the scallop itself is expensive, but if you know how to get them from source and you can eat them beautifully as they are, then you can save a lot of money, okay. There's nothing finer than fresh seafood. So from where I could have cooked them this morning, and when I got them, I could feel them pulsating when I was cleaning the shell out. So these have come from the sea to my dinner plate in only a few hours. And that's what Orkney food is all about. You know, it's about eating well and eating decent stuff. So if you come up to Orkney and you want Kinley to cook your food for you, well then you make sure that you drink some indigestion liquid first, okay? Because I'm crap at cooking, okay? I'm not going to lie, okay? Or we have a cookout on a beach somewhere, but I also recommend that we must go down to the Murray Arms Hotel in Saint Margarets Hope. Gina and Nicky, who run it, are amazing, and Leigh Gould is the chef, or one of he's a head chef there. He'll show you how to shuckle scallops. And that's for these guys, so cheers for that. So how many did I eat? Well, I've eaten 6 large hand dive scallops. The thing was, for me, I love seafood, I love fish. I could eat this type of food every day for the rest of my life and still be happy, okay? We live in such an amazing place, and people, you know, some people are allergic to seafood, like my wife, Kirsty, but it's great actually, her being allergic to it, because there's more for me, hey! So this is the final bit where I run out, a bit more in the pan there. Nice butter. Nice Fetland, I'm glad you like it. One of the best things for me is sometimes I make smoked salmon, or I have smoked salmon, and you can add vodka to it, or vodka to pasta, and that type of thing, or anything with vodka. And the alcohol content burns off, so you get this lovely sweet taste afterwards. That's what it's like for the scallop if you add whiskey to it, okay? Bourbon would probably work well as well. Rum, maybe not so much. But if you got rye whiskey over in North America, try that with scallops. But remember, ladies, gents, boys and girls, when you're eating out in a restaurant, particularly here in Scotland, okay, if you're given a scallop without the orange bit, you say to them, where's the roe? That's the best bit of the scallop. Now in the United States and other parts of North America, Canada and so on, what you'll find is that the scallops, when they're prepared by the fishing vessels, they'll take off the orange bit, okay? What they do to that byproduct, I don't know. So unfortunately it happens at source. So perhaps it's something you can work on, speak to your restaurants and say, you know what, you're throwing away the best bit of the scallop, okay? Anyway, from Kinley here, from Orkney Uncovered Private, cheers with my last remaining bit of scallop. Nothing comes close to a scallop that's been fried in butter, okay? Fresh from the sea. I love the flavour of it, and I love living in Orkney. And my knee is quite sore kneeling down here on a laminate floor in my kitchen. But hopefully I'll try and work out how to better use a live feed video soon for you. But anyway, from Kinley the Viking here, to the rest of yourselves across the world, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you can come up to Orkney at some stage in the future and I can cook you some scallops. Take care, and we'll speak soon.